Okay.
Are you ready to go?
I guess. Okay.
This is obviously unrehearsed. Roll the intro. So, Wednesdays, we've been trying to do like a talking vlog and just share something that we've been thinking about. Today's is a little bit off the cuff, but what it doesn't make up for in
Planning. It does in content.
well, authenticity, at least. I guess they'll be able to decide if it is interesting to you.
Yeah.
But it's true. Okay, so where should we begin? We got married when we were 20. We were pregnant in like 3 months. And then we were pregnant again. And then you wanted to use birth control to space out kids.
Mm-hmm. Which I did a little.
And I didn't care.
Yeah.
So we did.
Yeah.
Cervical cap?
Yeah.
I've never talked to one other person that has used that. If you use a cervical cap, comment below.
It's a niche birth control.
So, and then we started to, I think, develop some ideas, like with where we were at spiritually, specifically with a vein of Christianity that we were in at the time, where we almost became like anti-birth control. And a lot of people we're hanging out with, like kids, and how many you had was like an important topic. And anytime I'm talking about these things, it's important to remember there's what's said.
And then there's just the culture that's just implied.
Yeah, things that are never said, but are just as important sometimes.
And I think for me in that culture too, I didn't really see anything else I could be. I mean, this is going to sound really sad, but in that culture, like women weren't really leaders. And if you were a leader, it was like, okay, but go lead children or something. And the most you could be is a mom, which I'm not taking away from that. I think that's like awesome to be a mom. But to say that that's all that someone is, that was something that I was, again, not directly told. Well, a little bit later on. But
well, we were told it's the most important thing.
It's the most important thing for the wife to be or to aspire to. And so I think I just latched onto that and was like, oh, that's my go-to. That's like where I get my identity from, is having kids, having a lot of kids. Yeah.
And I can say that I don't have any regrets about where we've come to this point. If I had to do it all over again, I think I would do the same thing. But this week or last week, it was like in the last 7 days, we're driving along, and I just mentioned to Cammie, like, what if I was to get a vasectomy? And we hadn't talked about birth control. We haven't been using birth control in 3 years, and we haven't been like dodging anything.
Yeah, but I've been like, before that, I had been hinting, I think for the last several months, that I was kind of probably done.
Yeah, and I've been arriving at the same conclusion, just like feeling like, oh, I'd be totally happy not having any more kids. And I think that's even the passive way of putting it. Yeah. The trouble is, I don't know if I'd go so far as to say, I don't want more. Like, I don't have that feeling enough to make that statement. But when I think about, if you were to get pregnant, I think there's a part of me that would feel disappointed about, because I just feel like mentally I'm moving on to other ideas and options and things right now.
Yeah.
In a way that's unique. So it sounds so harsh to say, like, I don't want more kids, because if we got pregnant, I think that'd be great too. Like, I think we'd make the most of it. It's just weird because having kids wasn't something that was like, it didn't feel like a choice before to me.
I know. I think saying I don't want more kids isn't saying if we were to have another kid, I don't want that kid.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think needs to be saying that.
But if I was going to make the choice right now and it was like a coin flip, I would say I don't want another kid. Like, if it really was just choice 100%.
Yeah.
But, like, going out and getting surgery feels like a pretty extreme
measure.
Yeah. I mean, especially it's, like, permanent. I mean, I guess people are going to say, like, well, why don't you just use condoms? Or why don't you just do this? And why don't you do that? And because for me, it is, like, a decision that...
Well, first of all, Ben hates condoms.
Yeah. But there's a lot of other things we could try.
Right. There is.
And I'm kind of... To me, that'd be getting, like, 3 knuckles tattooed. It would just be, like, putting off...
Yeah.
Like, if you don't want more kids, don't have more kids. I'm not the type of person that, like, generally changes my mind on things. I learn and I grow. But this is going to take us somewhere to wherever our next step is. So we've been talking about it this week, and you pulled out some pretty heavy duty, like, because you were, like, fertile, and you're like, I'm not having sex.
I was like,
unless we use birth
stay
control.
away from me.
And I was like, whoa, this has never happened before. We need to figure this out.
We figured this out right now.
So we got creative.
Yeah.
For this temporary measure. But now we're talking about a vasectomy.
And what's really weird for me is I feel like I'm having... Is this when you have... What's the term? When cognitively you believe something, but your body and your emotions are feeling something else. I mean, basically, the easy way to say this is when Ben said, I think I'm going to get a vasectomy, I started feeling guilty.
Well, yeah, you were so funny because you're like, I'm not going to have sex with you. And you were using some crazy, you're like, there was this 12-day window. And I was like, that's bullshit.
You keep adding days. Initially I think I said 10.
That's still crazy.
And then I thought, no, probably 3 on either side of ovulation.
That's still crazy. So then I said, okay, fine, I'll get a vasectomy. Because I don't really care that much anyways. I think the old me cares, like the belief system. But the new me, I'm like totally fine with it. And you were like, whoa, wait. That's going to be so sad. And you were like, I was like, what is it, woman?
I know.
But it is complicated.
It's so mixed. Like, it's really, I mean, I'm going against like 20 years of thinking this whole other way. And I think my body still like feels certain things.
But this is my latest thought about that spirituality is... I was always a long-term thinker, and I think kids, I still stand by the fact that I think they were one of the best investments we ever made, regardless of spiritual beliefs. And I think they would be a good investment for other people, more so than things that they're investing in now, maybe. But I think when we adopted these certain spiritual beliefs, what I've seen is people use those spiritual beliefs to validate anything that they're currently doing. And that's where it got a little wacky because we were already having kids. Like the reasons people gave for not having kids didn't make sense to me. People were like, oh, you need to watch out for money. And I always thought, I'm fine living on welfare. I'm fine living in a cardboard box. I have no problem raising kids in a cardboard box or on welfare. It's like not a big thing to me. So, and then that was like always people's big caution was like, oh, what about money? What about education?
Live your life. Like freedom.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm going to live my life with kids. So we just had them, but then we started developing spiritual beliefs, like mostly that we had got from other people. And then we started like mixing that in with that. And that's where it got really confusing, because now we have not just what we want and what we believe in our preference, but now we're using the Bible and be like, this is a better way. And more than the Bible specifically or Christianity came this like almost certainty that was like, this isn't just what we want to do, but this is what we think is best for everyone. And that really messed with my mind. And I'm glad we're leaving that. But I think this is just one example that shows, because actually up until a couple days ago, I still had a lot of mixed feelings about getting a vasectomy. And I haven't like scheduled it yet or anything, so anything could happen. But I think I still feel like, yeah, guilty, like we're playing God by making that choice.
Yeah, I feel like I'm disappointing someone by making this choice. And I envy people who don't have those issues. They're just like, I mean, there was this one guy that we knew a while back, and I think he was married, had 2 kids, in his like late 20s, maybe 26, and he's like, you got a vasectomy. And I remember at the time thinking that was crazy. Now looking back, I'm like, I wish I could just be like, yeah, I'm done. I'm just gonna go do this thing. No big deal.
It's just weird because I'm actually glad we didn't do it earlier.
Yeah, Well, yeah, and that's kind of a weird thing to say, because then we wouldn't have certain kids.
Sometimes I wish we would have had that before this last one on certain days. Yeah. Rainier, if you grew up and watched this, I'm sorry, but it's true. Oh, okay, I got a funny Rainier story today, and then we should probably sign out. It's kind of late, and we've been struggling with vlog content lately, so... So Cammy was gone, and Memory was watching Rainier, and I see Rainier, and he's sitting on the lawn, and he's pointing down, and he goes, I pooped. And he took a dump on the lawn, and he did this last week, because we're like kind of potty training him. He did it last week, and Cammy got all amped up about it because, well, that time he just pulled his pants down, so he pooped, and it all went all on his legs and on his pants, and he didn't really know it was happening. He was just peeing. So, but today he goes, can I have a treat? He goes, because I didn't poop on my legs or my pants. Because he had taken his pants off, and he like knew how gravity worked this time, so he squatted, I think. So he still thought it was okay to poop in the yard, as long as he didn't poop on his legs or his pants. So he wanted a treat this time.
Oh, bless your little heart.
So, progress every day, growing up. Mm-hmm. It's a whole new world. All right, anything else you want to say about this? We're not... This is like one of those decisions that's like in process, so it feels a little bit risky to even put out a vlog like this, because all sorts of people are going to give all sorts of advice that really we're not going to listen to. But I actually wouldn't mind hearing stories about ways that you've wrestled with this doubt. That I don't mind hearing, of just ways other people have asked these types of questions. But yeah, I figured this is where we're at right now. We are a YouTube channel based on having 6 kids. And at times we haven't talked about birth control much, but we've never been for it. And this is a big shift for us. But it's a long time coming. There's been a lot of other spiritual beliefs that have happened. Mm-hmm. And I think this was one of the I don't want to say the last one, because you never know how many there actually are. But this is just like one in a long string of things that we're okay with.
Yeah.
But it's hard still.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
All right. Thanks for listening to us ramble at night about birth control, permanent birth control.
Hysterectomies? No. Vasectomies. They sound like vasectomies, not hysterectomies.
That's pretty major, right?
Hysterectomy is like taking out your uterus?
Yeah. That's like pretty unnecessary, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't really want to do that unless you absolutely have to, I think. Yeah.
I was reading it says it's just like It's just like getting kicked in the balls for a while.
Yeah, it takes like a week or two.
And then I was thinking, well, if I do it, we're going to have to like vlog it. Right?
I guess.
I mean, why not?
Right. Wait, vlog the vasectomy?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like just talk about it afterwards. Oh, the doctor's going to be like, what? What do you want to do?
All right. See you guys tomorrow.